Hi, welcome to another episode of Webcam Sessions. This week we're going to be working on one of my favorite musical terms, which is rubato, and how it applies to the ukulele. And we're going to use a little bit of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, as done by Bretta Is, to represent this technique. So rubato as a word, what it means is to play with feeling. And I think that's kind of a loose term, because music is human in general, right? And to play with feeling, how do you not play with feeling, right? Music is a very emotional thing. And so the way that I like to really think about that and expand on it is it's not just to play with feeling, but it's to play as you would be speaking, right? And when you think about how we communicate with each other, we have these elements of rhythm to our voices, right? Different syllable counts and everything else. But we also tend to speed up and slow down as we're communicating things, depending on what we're saying. If you were to put on a metronome and try to speak with a metronome, it wouldn't sound very good because you're trying to be so metered with everything you say. If I said everything like this, it would get annoying, right? Some people probably clicked off the video at that point. So we're trying to communicate the same way that we actually vocalize and communicate. So when we're playing on the ukulele, what this can mean is taking a melody phrase, and instead of giving it a certain number of beats every time we're playing, we can instead give it a certain amount of time that's more subjective and more based on how we want to communicate that melody. So let's go ahead and look at the very beginning of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, just with the line somewhere over the rainbow. Just those two measures going through. So the way that we play this would be we'll take our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. We'll play that C chord all the way through. And then we'll play the 3 on the A. And then we'll play an E minor chord, in which we'll take our ring finger, place on the 4th fret of the C string, middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E, and index here on the 2nd fret of the A. And we strum through all 4 of these. And we play just the 3 on the E, and then the open A, taking off that index finger, but leaving the other 2 fingers on. Play the 2 on the A again. And then we can take off all the fingers and just slide up 1 fret to 3 on the A. Right? So that sounds something like this, nice and slow. Right? Now the way that I played it right there was using no real rubato. You could kind of put on a metronome and play with it. And I think that makes the song a little bit more static. It doesn't give it the opportunity to breathe. And so now I'm going to play the melody again, more free time. And you'll notice it's going to be slower, and it's going to be less recognizable in some ways, but it's also going to be sort of more emotional, trying to use more of that kind of human element of communication. So here's me playing it with rubato. Right, so you hear that I started to speed up some sections, slow down others to kind of communicate it, instead of it just being somewhere over the rainbow, right? I might have it be more somewhere over the rainbow, right? You see how it's less, articulate with the timing, but it's almost more articulate with saying the words I want to with the instrument, right? Now, to facilitate this technique, you'll notice that I was using my thumb with my playing hand. And it's really important, I think, with this style to try to use the thumb, because the thumb gives you the most, voice-like tone in my experience, especially if you have a little bit of a nail on your thumb. Now, you don't need a lot of nail, and we did a webcam session on, I think it was called Pitch Perfect Nails or something like that. And so that will be linked in the description below. But you can see I have a little bit of a nail coming over. It's not super long, but it's longer than the average dudes or ladies even. And so a little bit of nail can really help. Make sure you watch that video if you're interested in growing your nail out a little bit for tone. But the more important thing is really the way that I attack the strings, which is I'm going to be right around over the sound hole, about a 45-degree angle, and being at kind of the tip of the sound hole where the fretboard meets. That's kind of my default spot to go in when I'm playing and trying to get tone. As I'm doing this, I'm keeping the thumb more straight here, not bending it at this knuckle, so that the force can come from my lower portion of my hand. So my hand kind of sticks out a little bit as I'm doing this to get it at that 45-degree angle and keep the thumb straight. But this gets me the tone that I really want, and what's so great about it is I can move it more down and perpendicular and get a more brittle sound. That's more of your kind of type of sound. But I can also move it more up and parallel, which gives me a warmer sound. So I've got these different tones that I'm able to get, just like a voice can get different tones, right? And now when we think about that, and we think about the tone, whenever we're speaking, the tone of our voice is really more important than what we're saying, right? I've got a 16-month-old son now, and it's really fun because, you know, he's starting to really understand words, but the thing he understands more than the words is the way I say it, right? So if I'm happy with him, it's really important for me to be happy, and if I'm not so happy with something, it's more important for me to be like this, right? And you can think of that when you're playing and getting tones with the ukulele. The brighter type of sound might elicit more kind of you know, a higher energy. The warmer, darker type of sound might be more somber, and blending these in different ways can really help. So if I were to play that same Somewhere Over the Rainbow line, and I just used it with no rubato and just kept my tone to one area, it would be something like this, right? It'd be just... right? But here's using more of that tone, more of that rubato, and really trying to make it more musical. Right? I'm trying to attack the string in different ways to essentially communicate different things. So you can use this to really mess around with different tones and sounds, and the word rubato is what I like to use to describe this technique, right? Playing with emotion or playing more human-like. And if you really like playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow in this sort of ballad style, I actually did a tutorial video for this month that you can check out down linked below that goes through the entire song in this sort of style. Had a lot of fun doing it. It's a really fun song to play this way. It's quite a bit different than if you're wanting to do the strum parts to this song. And if you're looking more for the strum part of the song, for this sort of, you know, type of sound, be sure to check out the strumming course that I did here with Ukulele Underground. We cover something called the island strum that can be used for that, as well as check out the other lessons available on Ukulele Underground that cover that song and concepts associated with it. Next week, we're going to be having a very special episode. It will be the 50th episode that I've done here with Ukulele Underground, which just blows my mind because it's gone so quick, and it's been a lot of fun doing. We're going to be doing a giveaway. I've got Kanilea Ukulele is going to be sponsoring a giveaway, and it should be a lot of fun. I'll have some goodies to show you guys and how you guys can enter and all that for it, so it should be just a blast. But I'll see you guys next week, and as always, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time on Webcam Sessions.